The roar of karma unraveling the mystery of the two lions. Welcome to today's episode. Are you guys ready? Today, we are going to travel through time and space, all the way back to ancient India. We're about to look at an absolutely mind-blowing historical story, one that will give you a completely fresh perspective on karma and negative imprinting. Concepts that usually sound a bit abstract. Let us dive right into it. The crisis terror on the highway first. Let us set the scene with a terrifying crisis. Picture this: there was a vital trade route connecting the kingdoms of Kosala and Magadha. One day, out of nowhere, two massive, ferocious lions appeared on the road. Now, these weren't the lazy lions you see sleeping at the zoo. These were actual man-eaters. These two beasts launched frantic attacks on travelers, completely paralyzing the entire trade route. You can easily imagine the sheer terror. Back then the road was totally deserted, abandoned out of pure fear. For the locals, it was a living nightmare. Faced with a life-or-death situation like this, any normal person's first instinct would be to run as far away as possible. Right, well, interestingly enough, the Buddha did not run. On the contrary, he took one look and realized that the time to guide and liberate these two lions had finally ripened. So, with absolute calm, he turned to the bhikkhus beside him and said, "Put on your robes, take your bowls, and come with me into the forest." Honestly, to anyone else, this looked like a suicide mission. But the Buddha was completely unbothered. And guess what? The moment they stepped into the forest, a miracle happened. Those two beasts who just a second ago were full of bloodlust, ready to pounce and tear humans to shreds, froze the moment they saw the Buddha. Looking at his sublime, majestic presence, their rage instantly evaporated, as if it were magically sucked away. Not only did they stop attacking, but the man-eating monsters of a moment ago were now kneeling submissively at the Buddha's feet in deep reverence. This 180美元 circ turnaround was so jaw-dropping it would make anyone's head spin. Right then and there, the Buddha shared a highly condensed yet profoundly deep piece of philosophy with the two animals, the famous three universal seals. He told them all compounded things are impermanent, all phenomena are devoid of a self. By doing this, the Buddha pointed out a true path to peace and liberation for these two lions, who were trapped in the animal realm and tortured by their own karma. Not long after hearing the Dharma, the two lions passed away from natural causes. But here comes the most incredible part: their souls instantly transformed into radiant, glowing heavenly beings. That very midnight, filled with gratitude, they returned to the Jetavana monastery, shining brilliantly and carrying celestial flowers to pay respects to the Buddha. After hearing Dharma once more, their minds achieved ultimate liberation. Think about it: in less than a single day, they went from man-eating beasts to liberated celestial beings. Talk about fast-forwarding the spiritual progress bar. The mystery digging up the past. The next morning, the bhikkhus who hadn't witnessed the whole event were utterly baffled. Everyone was asking how. How could those ferocious lions be tamed so easily? And that is the core question of our episode today. This exact doubt is going to take us backward in time to unearth a shocking truth. After all, karma is never as simple as it looks on the surface. The plot runs incredibly deep. Let us hit rewind for our first flashback to see how everything connects. The Buddha revealed to the assembly that this wasn't the first time he had untangled the karmic knot of these two souls. An invisible thread of karma had bound them tightly together, tracing back to a tragic, bloody history in the distant past. Long, long ago, these two souls were actually two powerful kings locked in a brutal war. Driven by mutual hatred, they fought viciously, leaving the land covered in casualties and echoing with cries of grief. Just as the entire country was about to be consumed by the flames of war, a compassionate immortal with boundless spiritual powers descended from the sky. This immortal manifested grand miracles right in midair, forcefully intervening in the massacre and breaking the seemingly hopeless deadlock. Seeing these divine miracles, the two kings were utterly stunned and awestruck. The fires of hatred in their hearts melted away instantly. And notice this: the immortal didn't preach long sermons or use force to threaten them. He simply made a direct, powerful appeal for peace. Remarkably, the two kings willingly agreed, immediately laying down their weapons. It was a beautiful truce built entirely on compassion and wisdom. But here is the real kicker: the two kings didn't just stop fighting. They actually abdicated their thrones to their crown princes and went into the mountains to practice under that very immortal, eventually reaching incredibly high spiritual states. So who was that immortal? You guessed it, the Buddha in a previous life. And those two kings, they were the exact man-eating lions we just met. The root, a 2,000-year-old verbal habit. This history perfectly solves our first riddle. But honestly, it leaves us with an even bigger question. If these two kings later became such highly realized, peace-loving practitioners, why on earth did they fall from grace and reincarnate as bloodthirsty lions? It makes no sense. This forces us to peel back another layer of the onion to find the absolute root of this karmic web. To uncover the ultimate cause, the Buddha took everyone even further back in time, all the way to the ancient, mythic era of Kasyapa Buddha. This was where these two souls planted their initial karmic seeds. This was the true starting point. To give you a sense of this epic timescale, let me share a staggering detail. In that ancient era, the average human lifespan was, guess what, Artie? 000 years old. Yes, 2,000 years. So we are talking about a cosmic boomerang spanning vast eons, accumulating consequences over tens of thousands of years. This completely shatters our normal perception of time. In that era of our 000 year lifespans, these two souls were actually highly devout and exceptionally eloquent lay Buddhists. But they had one fatal flaw: an incredibly explosive temper. Even though they knew the Dharma well, the moment they lost their cool and their fuses blew, they would point fingers and viciously curse others, calling them names like animals or lions. Isn't it deeply ironic that such a foul-mouthed habit coexisted with their devout faith? This is a flawless demonstration of how karma actually operates. Karma is never a simplistic game of cosmic rewards and punishments. It is a highly complex, precise equation. Look at how it played out. Their habit of verbally abusing others by calling them lions hard-coded their future fall into the animal realm as actual lions. Yet, at the same time, the pure vow they made during their lives wishing to please the future Shakyamuni Buddha guaranteed that the Buddha would eventually come to rescue them. Under the precise calculation of karmic law, these two seemingly contradictory forces played out perfectly at the exact same time. The takeaway: writing your own script. Concluding the story, the Buddha told his disciples that the seemingly random, unfortunate beast attack was not random at all. It was mathematically precise, bringing together tens of thousands of years of behavior and heartfelt vows into one perfect, inevitable moment. This is what we call the coming together of past karma and present conditions. There are no pure coincidences in this universe. What we call chance is simply the inevitable execution of karmic law. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with a fascinating question to ponder. If a single angry word spoken tens of thousands of years ago can throw a cosmic boomerang through countless lifetimes and strike you with absolute precision, then what kind of script are the words you speak today writing for your own future? Hopefully, this story gives you something profound to think about. See you guys next time.